Hello, this is Maria and welcome to my stamping world. Today I'm going to show you how to make some flowers using the Build a Cupcake Punch. This is one of the cards that are made, and the flower is a forget-me-not flower. And I'm going to show you how to make this flower and then show you some diagrams on how you can make other flowers using this punch. This is the Build a Cupcake Punch, and I'd like to show you a chart that I made showing you the various flowers that you can make using the punch. And I have in my head a couple of more flowers that you can make. What I've done is I've punched out the cupcake part of the punch, the icing part of the punch, and so far I've made flowers with them. And indicated on here the lines where I would cut to make the various shapes of petals that I could get from each of these punches. And then I've made some various flowers. But today I'm going to show you how to make the forget-me-not flower, which is a variation of this particular flower, but I'm going to use the icing part of the cupcake punch, which is this petal that I'm going to make it from. Here's some of the supplies that you're going to need. The Build a Cupcake Punch, the Boho Blossom Punch, the Scallop Oval Punch, the 1/2 inch Circle Punch. You'll need obviously some good quality glue that dries quickly, and a stylus to make the markings in your petals, a black writer, some Pacific Point ink with a sponge, a mat pack and pricker, and you'll also need obviously a bone folder that I'm holding in my hand, and some strips of cardstock, Marina Mist, and I've cut them in strips so that it's easier to go through the punch. Just a little tiny scrap of Daffodil Delight and a tiny piece of Whisper White. Punch out 5 of this part of the cupcake punch using the Marina Mist, the little strip that I showed you. Just insert it into your punch, match up the shape, and punch. And you're going to punch 5 of them because the flower here has 5 petals. Punch 1 of the 1/2 inch circle punch, 1 of the Boho Blossom in white, and 1 of the little flower, center flower of the Boho Blossom punch in Daffodil Delight. Now this is the shape. This is how you're going to cut the icing to get the shape of the petal that you want. And that's the shape we're going for. Okay, start cutting your petals. And you cut 5 of them. I'm already cutting 2 because I've already cut my other 3 out. Now the other pieces that are left over I can use to make other flowers. Now what I want is a notch in my petal. So what I've done is I've taken the Scallop Oval Punch, and this is a good trick to use if you're putting small punchies through a punch and you just can't seem to, you don't have enough fingers, is to take just a strip of remnants from your cardstock and put a bit of Dotto adhesive on it, and then attach your punchy to it, and it makes it easier to reinsert back into a punch. I'm going to use the Scallop Oval Punch, and I'm going to put it in at the one end to try to get, hope you'll be able to see this. Sometimes this works and sometimes this doesn't. So you put it in the end there, and you try to get, punch down and try to get, oops. That wasn't too bad. Got a little bit of a tag on it, and you just cut that off with your scissors. Want to see that one more time? Okay, just pick up one of these pieces They're hard to pick up too. Attach it to a little handle, I guess we can call it that. Oh, that one worked beautifully. Okay, so I've already done my other two. So now we have 5 scalloped petals. I'm going to take Pacific Blue ink, pick up each piece, and sponge the edge. I'm also going to sponge the edge of the yellow. Might as well do all the sponging at the same time, and the white flower. These two will be in the center of the forget-me-not. Next, score down your petal with a stylus, and you start between the scallops, and you just gently score down. Now, you don't need to worry if it's a straight line or anything. It's not going to show in the long run, but you just score. You can see that, my fingers. There you go. And with the bone folder, gently curl, actually with the ink side down, gently curl because you want the petals to be curled up. So when you do that, apply some Tombow adhesive to your 3/4 inch circle and just start applying the petals. Apply them in threes. If your finger gets stuck, you just take your pricking tool. The pricking tool can be very handy when making flowers and positioning your petals. These are little petals and they tend to stick to your fingers. So just to position the petals where you want them using your stylus. There. Okay, the next layer is this white piece that I have punched from the boho blossom, and you just take your paper snips and just snip between each of the petals. And with the lid of the Tom glue, let me just put the lid back on because I don't want glue on it just yet. Use the top of the lid to start the petals moving up, and then with your fingers continue to bend the petals up. Put a little Tombow on the back. Some will put it directly on the flower, but I find it is more accurate this way. And again, with the piercing tool, position it in place. Do the same with the little yellow boho blossom, just tiny snips in between. But now, before I actually start curling the ends up, I'll take my Stampin' Writer, the black one, and I'll put a little dot in the center and then make lines out from the middle. Now I can, with my bone folder, the top of the glue lid is just too big for this. I'll just fold the ends up a little bit. I'll start it and then I'll finish it with my fingers just to fold it up. And with the bit of glue, place it in the center of the flower. And with your pricker, move it in position. And there you have the flower that looks like this. Now I want to put a brad, a black brad, in the middle of the flower, but it is really hard to pierce it when the glue is still wet. So I'll demonstrate that on the flower, which is already dry. You need your matte pack again, and take your flower, pierce a hole through all layers, and insert your brad. It's a lot easier when the glue is dry. There you have the forget-me-not. Now I'll show you some other cards, some other flowers that I've made using the Build a Cupcake Punch. Here's the original card once again. Then another flower that I made that I put inside of a frame. A flower where I actually used 2 layers. Finally, this card actually shows 3 different flowers that I made from the various parts of the basket and I say cloud because it reminds me of a cloud, of the icing part.